Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Nova Meister and welcome to Blow My Mind episode 4. And this is going to be about the brain more than anything, but I don't normally do this, I don't like doing it, but I'm just going to quickly mention this gameplay quickly. Don't normally do it on the Blow My Mind series, but it's a Gears Judgment gameplay, and it's actually fairly good. I get a couple of nice, cool things about it, and I don't really like this map either, so definitely keep an eye on the gameplay because there's some cool stuff that goes on, especially with this boom shot in a minute. But what I want to talk to you guys today is about the brain, talk about the brain, and some of the cool things about the brain. I actually got brought to this subject and brought to this idea. I was going to do something completely different, but someone commented on my last video on Blow My Mind, saying that the whole theory that I had of the universe expanding and then contracting continually over cycles, and the Big Bang keeping on happening, and everything in the universe happening again and again and again, a constant cycle, and that we come to live again and again in exactly the same way, and that's how we get deja vu. This is the boom shot. That's a nice boom shot. um, but yeah, that wouldn't have really explained deja vu, so that's why I thought I'd address that. But not only that, I thought I'd talk about what deja vu would be caused by, and then it brought me onto this subject of the brain. Because basically, if we were to come back, like I said in that theory, over and over again, we'd become going back as a brand new version of us, although we'd be made up of the same stuff and we'd live the same life, but we wouldn't have actually felt deja vu like that. So deja vu is actually explained in science at the moment as a delay between the communication of one part of the brain and the other. And I find the brain so amazing. Like, it's such an awesome thing. Like, the brain is literally one of the most crazy things in science, in the world, in anything, is the human brain, and how it kind of works. And I actually see it as a cognitive machine, sort of like a computer, more complex than anything that we've created or anything like that. It could actually like rewire itself. I think it was, I looked at a fact, like 10 to the power of like a million, which is like billions and millions of ways. That's what makes us all unique. That's what makes our human brain so unique, is that although we've all got one, they can be rewired in different ways. But what's interesting when I think of the brain is, I see it as like this mechanism with inputs and outputs. But what I find it interesting is what controls those inputs and outputs, because each part of the brain does its own thing and it's responsible for different stuff. But is there something that we have separately that has free will, that over the brain, and that we control how that brain wires itself? I mean, it's unlikely when you think of it in terms of other stuff in the universe. That was another nice play to get out of the rampage, but yeah, carrying on. Compared to like the rest of the universe, it's unlikely to think that there is anything such as this external thing, such as like a soul or something like that, where we control how our brain works. So instead, it's much more likely that it is just a cognitive machine that leads to us feeling in such ways and emotions, and there's parts of the brain that controls all that, like the amygdala and so on. But I find that really amazing how this stuff leads to us being us. Different parts of the brain ends up completing us as a whole body, makes us a human being, and makes us what we are, and we get to experience these emotions. And what's really amazing is the human brain is like the only thing in the universe. What's so unique about it compared to anything else is the fact that we actually get to look at the universe. It takes in parts of the universe, and we can actually appreciate it, which is amazing. Because otherwise, what would be the point of the universe? There is no point to the universe. It's just that we're lucky enough to be around there and see it, and that's what I see it as anyway. I've always found it like really amazing. But going back to this deja vu comment, because I just want to talk to you guys about that. That's about these different parts of the brain and how they interact with each other, and how information is processed. And it's really weird to think of our brain, us, who we are, as just something that processes stuff, but it does that. It takes in information. But obviously, there's no such thing as instantaneous. So we all are, like I said in the time one, the episode before this. It wasn't a blow my mind story that I got this from. It was something that was going to go and blow my mind. It was a theory of universe or whatever, like religion and stuff, if you want to go check that commentary out. But the one before this blow my mind was time, and I said that we're all living in the past slightly, or the way time works is so weird that we have to reconstruct it in our brains. Well, because things aren't instantaneous, and because our brain takes so long to take in information from the world around us, turning the external into the internal, processing it, like these things like deja vu probably happen that's a nice booshka. Probably happen due to the fact that these different parts of the brain that take in the information, it goes round, and they get a picture of what's going on in your head, and you react to it. Instead, it goes to like different parts of the brain, but there's like a delay. So, say if you're looking at something, and you see like, I don't know, say you see one event and then you see another event. If you see that one event, but then see that other event, and it is processed late by one of the parts of your brain, then you will see it as it will feel like deja vu. And one of the amazing things is the way that different parts of your brain just doesn't work as one thing. It's made up of loads of different parts of the brain that see stuff in different ways. And in psychology, when I was at school, we looked at some of this, how some people would say be epileptic, and then half of their in the middle of their brain there's something that makes the right side communicate with the left side parts of the brain. And obviously you guys have probably heard that the right side does different things to the left side, and if you use your right side predominantly, then you are better at different things and stuff. Well, it's so amazing that becomes such a massive thing, and it makes us feel kind of more of like this cognitive machine that I keep talking about, when you understand that when people who had an operation in this middle part of their brain where they had to sever the cord, I think it was called the what's it called? I don't know, cortex, something cortex, and it's basically the middle bit that connects the left and right side. When they had that severed and they closed their left eye and looked at stuff in the right eye, and it would go into their left visual field, they could either say something, say what they were looking at, and say that they were looking at, say, a red rubber, but they wouldn't be able to actually know that they'd seen a red rubber. Sometimes they could say it, but not know they'd seen it. On other times they would see it but not be able to actually say it, or they'd be able to write it down. Like, say they'd be able to write down red rubber, but they wouldn't be able to say that they'd seen a red rubber, which is crazy. And it's got to the point now where people who can actually analyze the brain can ask someone a question like, I don't know, or I don't know, I don't even know, like, are you feeling happy? And if they were about to say yes, then they would actually be able to find out if they were going to say yes or no before the person even knew themselves, because they can actually see how these processes are happening in the brain, which is amazing. That is to me, that's so amazing that someone else could know my decisions before I even realised I've made them. That's crazy. And I guess the same sort of thing happens in, when you see these Jeremy Kyle shows, and you've got these lie detectors. People were able to tell, like, to the like degree of like 98% certainty that they're telling the truth or a lie. That is crazy that people are able to just look in our heads like that and see our decisions. And there's so many other crazy stuff about brains as well that I want to speak to you about, but I'll leave it there. And to be honest, if you are part of that 2% that get fucked over on Jeremy Kyle, then oh god, I feel for you. But anyway, guys, that's everything, and thank you very much, and good night.